Hey everyone, Adam here. Welcome back to another video. This one, we got a very, very exciting one. We're going to be talking about how to scale your Shopify brand to over $100,000 a month plus with high profit. So we just did it for this brand here and have done it over a dozen times. And basically in this video, what we're going to be walking through is basically the keys in terms of in two different scenarios, which a lot of people don't talk about, in my opinion, with a simple product and very low competition. We're going to be talking those three keys, and then also with a more complex product or a very competitive niche, because with those things, there's going to be different situations. So we're going to be covering all that. So let's dive straight into it. So basically, first things first, for this brand here, last month in the month of July, you can see here, we basically just raised our sales by 94, orders went up by 77%, sessions went up by 180%, and they basically did $145,000 in revenue with very high profits. So you can see here in terms of the meta ads last month, first full month we started with them. On Meta, we spent $15,000 in 724 to bring back $94,000 in revenue with over 6x return ad spend. Over on the Google side, I spent $1,100 and then brought back a little over $15,000 with over 13x. So total ad spend was $16,905 and their total revenue was $145,000. So fair to say, very high profit. So yeah, we're going to be walking through, the keys. So let's get into it. So first things first, product with your right unit economics. So basically with a simple product and low competition, basically in my opinion, you only really need these three things. And then if it's a more complex product or competitive niche, you're going to need to dial in things a little bit more. So if it's a simple product and low competition, what I mean by that is let's just look at the exact opposite. Let's just look at the highest competition markets, apparel, fashion, jewelry, anything in the beauty space, skincare, hair care, anything to do with that. Very, very high competition. Those are a couple of examples. Of course, there's more, dog niche, things like that. Very high competitive markets. Low competitive markets are, just anything that's just not the main markets. Let's just say that, to be honest. There's a lot of very niche stuff that you just would never even think of. And you're like, wow. And then it just absolutely crushes. So that's what happens with that. But yeah, basically product with the right unit economics. We're going to touch on that. Optimized website. We're going to go through that. We're going to go through a couple of examples of a client that we actually just optimized their website. And you can see the difference in the conversion rate and how much it's going to allow us to scale them. And then great creative and ads. Now, with a more complex product or competitive niche, what will happen with these if you only focus on these three? You're going to end up hitting a cap. And now don't get me wrong, you could just keep pushing and then scale to $100,000 a month. But the problem is you're not going to have high profit. So that's the thing. So in order to get to the high profit, you will need to dial in an offering that is, more scalable and it's going to allow you to more cheaply and drive higher ROI. You will need to do some sort of landing pages as well, or have a really good product page. And then also doing retention and making sure that, basically you have like at least 30-40% returning customer rate as you scale to there. So that way, if you're at $100,000 a month plus, 30 to 40 grand plus is actually just returning customers. So that's no advertising cost. So that's something to factor in. Now let's dive into it. So in terms of product with the right unit economics, I would say AOV. So that means average order value. Ideally, if we're running paid ads, above $50. Now, don't get me wrong, you can be a little bit below that or just slightly around that. If you are, conversion rate has to be above, higher than 2%, to be honest, I'd say. And ideally 3, 4, 5% plus in order to be really profitable. Now, in terms of AOV, I would say ideally above 100. If you're above $100, it just makes everything so much easier. Like our average cost per acquisition last year was about $21 on Meta. So, if you look at that, with the AOV above, around $50, you're not really too profitable. But with around $100, things start to get more interesting. Okay. And then in terms of the gross margins, I'd say a bare minimum of 50%. And gross margins is basically cost of goods sold, shipping, payment processor fees. That's what I include. Everything all in. How much does it cost? It's basically cost of goods delivered. How much does it cost you to get the product done? So if you're selling something for $100, how much is shipping, cost of goods sold, payment processor fees, how much does that all come to? Ideally less than $50, ideally. Now, ideally as close to 80% as you can possibly get it. So that means if you're selling something for $100, that means it's costing you everything all in $20. And that leaves you with a lot of margin. But a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of other costs, as you scale ads, as you scale, your operational costs are going to go up in terms of team and, stuff like that. So, costs start, factoring in. And if you look at the biggest brands in the space that scale like a ton, they have 80% gross margins. And what they do is they end up spending 50% on marketing, and they just scale like crazy. Because the thing is, say for instance, you're doing 10 million a year and you spend 50% on marketing. That's $5 million on marketing. However, your margins in terms of your gross margins, basically you're only spending about $2 million, and then you have $3 million left for operational costs and also just profit, to be honest, which just allows you to scale so much more. So something to really think about if you really want to grow big and be very, very profitable. Now up next as well is an optimized website. I think this is just so key. It's just so incredibly important. Now I'm going to show you here for this brand here, Peapod Mats. I'm going to show you here last month, they basically had an online store conversion rate of 2.85%. Now we basically did it on almost at like 10 p.m. at midnight on the 1st of this month, and now we're at the 4th. And you can see here for today on the 4th of August, we're at a 6.23. Obviously not enough statistical significance. It's a hard word to say, because we've only had 83 sessions. So it's definitely not enough data by any means. However, you can see conversion rates easily at 53%, but probably going to go even more because we're at a 6.23. And this is with a returning customer of only about 10%. So they only sell one product, to be honest. So it's literally all new customers. So it's not like it's up massively today because there's just a massive email campaign or something like that. So we're going to walk through, the keys with this, and pay attention to copy, photos, and layout are really what drives all the whole needle essentially. So basically with this here, what we did is we first of all optimized the photo. So right away, just have the product for it. And then basically what we started doing is optimizing the photos. So you can see here, created by two moms. Before it was just scattered a bunch of random photos of the product that didn't really drive any value in terms of actually, you almost want to look at them like static ads in a way in terms of just really showcasing the product and really what it can do. So you can see here we have, the best waterproof mat available today. 100% leak proof, absorbs 6 cups of water, quick cleanup, easy to wash, have a nice little review, makes the stress away, not a big deal if there's an accident. 100% leak proof protection, that's the main benefit that people really care about, why families trust Peapod mats, all that sort of stuff. And then we also show someone in the bed with it, and then also show what it looks like on the bed in terms of sizing. We also move reviews up here. And then, of course, kept all the products that they click on: fuzzy peach, navy blue, light gray, etc. So that's all there. Add to cart button. We made it nice stick out, nice green color that matches their branding perfectly. And then also added these icons in here. 100,000 plus happy customers. If you include retail, Amazon, everything all in, they've had over 100,000 customers. Free shipping North America, and easy 30-day returns. Okay, so we added those in there right below the add to cart button, just to kind of easier, just builds a bit of trust right before you're about to add to cart. In terms of the overview, before what they had is they just had these benefits there. They're very Amazon first kind of brand, so it's very classic just to have this, but it doesn't really intro the product and really sell you on it. So what we did is we actually just wrote these 3 sentences: introducing the world's first reusable bedwetting incontinence mat that stays in place with no straps, flaps, or Velcro. And then basically that's law of leadership. How it's, the world's first, in this category, because people are much more receptive to what's new rather than what's better. And then basically what we did is use talk about their unique selling point, how it's made with this pod text, which trademark technology, basically, which is, unique. Triple layer designed to help create a 100% leak proof but breathable mat. So we don't just say, hey, it's 100% leak proof, which is literally the main thing that they really desire. They really want something that's actually just 100% leak proof, okay? But we talk about the unique selling point and unique, thing about it that allows it to be benefit. People don't care that it has pod text technology. They care about what that technology does for them, right? So we tailor right back for that. And then perfect for, any bedwetting situations with kids, adults, or even pets. Okay, so it's 3 sentences, very streamlined, very simple. And then what we did is we had moved the benefits there, and then had the specs right here. And then also very key as well is include the shipping and returns kind of as a drop-down menu right on the page. We do not want them having to leave the page to go figure out, how long is this going to take? Oh, can I return it? All that kind of stuff. Even though we have the easy 30-day returns, like if someone's buying online for some brand that they've never heard of before, like they're going to wonder, like, how long is this going to take? Like, can I return it if something goes wrong? How do I do that? All that sort of stuff. So we just lay it out right there for Canada, US, all right there. And then we also added these article mentions as well too, that just instantly builds the most trust. USA Today is the biggest one, so we had that there. Also Financial Post. And then we just grabbed the main quote that we liked from it as well. And then we added these 3 bullet point icons here as well. 100% waterproof. Once again, we're just reiterating that in different ways. It's the most important thing that customers really care about. Grippy bottom and hassle-free. And then we talk about how it works and to kind of show the visual for it, and then have the bullet points kind of explaining each layer and what it does, and then the reviews at the bottom. So you can see here basically for this massively improve the online store conversion rate. So this is just going to allow us to scale so much further and be a lot more profitable, which is very, very, very key, of course. And then I'll show you an example. This is actually an 8-figure brand that I heard about recently. In terms of an apparel brand, like obviously this is more of a product with some benefits and it solves a problem. But if you have a product that, doesn't have any of that, this is a really good example. I like these 3 checkpoints. I like how they have the swatches rather than just, hey, blue, Nate. Like I like how they have the swatches so you can just easily see, oh, you know what? Actually, I like this color more. And then it just takes you there, shows you it. Of course, photos are incredibly, incredibly important for an apparel brand. Add to bag. The only thing I would change is I would make it stand out. I would actually make it black and then have it like be a white background, to be honest. And then of course the 3 icons right below. Nice little intro, and then the sheer level, material and care, specs and fit, return policy, all that kind of stuff drop down right below. So you can kind of keep it there. And then they kind of talk about some of the benefits in a visual way. Milden, California, size and fit. And then they have the reviews. Okay, so another really good example there in terms of an optimized website. So I take a look at those. Peapod Mats, client that we work with. And then also Perfect YT, that's also a really good example as well. And you can notice there in terms of the copy, the photos, and the layout, all very optimized and dialed. Okay. Up next is create creative and ads. So this is the last section here for a brand with, kind of a simple and low competition. And actually, honestly, for a more complex and competitive product, you need all of these as well too. Now, these are all examples of ads with at least a 4x ROI. In today's day and age, I would say 70% video content and 30% static / carousel is really what we're seeing works the best. So it's mostly video. Yeah, I think today's day and age with, TikTok obviously just blowing up on Meta, I think video is just incredibly, incredibly important to have in your strategy. So you can see here some different videos that we have, really good music, really good captions, and a lot of research that goes into it, making the visuals look really, really good. So there's a video that we edited, looks really good. I'm going to have it paused or have it muted there because it's copyrighted music there. Also this one here, travel proof hair no matter where. So for this hair care brand, we wanted to, we basically were doing a bunch of research and found that a lot of people were, basically traveling and using it, and it actually helped, with their hair care routine while they were traveling. So we actually made an entire ad with that and kind of placed it in there. It kind of just gives this, and it's also middle of summer right now, so absolutely perfect timing for it as well. This ad here, nice little article, static, natural looking results, the fastest clip-in hair extensions available today. That's kind of the category that we're going with this brand here. And then this brand here sells these ECU upgrades. And so what we do is we don't talk about the features of it. We just go straight to unlock the full potential of your bike. That's the main hook and driver, essentially. And then basically what we do is we talk about the main audience that we're kind of going after is new or casual riders. So there's like 2 different kind of audiences. They're like, essentially the newer casual riders or the more experienced pro riders, essentially. But really what we're finding is in terms of the most profitable audience segment is really kind of the new and casual riders. So we kind of tailor the entire ad towards them and why they should be buying, essentially, then just have a nice strong call to action. Gear, XPR, mapped, Vortex, ECU today. And then we have these 3, really good example of using basically 3 different hooks on the same different hold with some sick music. These are honestly just some sick ads that are put together. So basically what we have there is we just kind of just whip through all the t-shirts there. And then what we have is these good looking girls essentially to kind of hook people in. And then another segment in terms of a different hook is this right here. So we really just kind of sell the lifestyle, to be honest, is really what we're trying to do. And then the third one here is this one here where basically the Faded Culture boys are just kind of getting together, chopping it up. So you can kind of see how these 3 different visuals kind of attract a different audience. And so that's basically what we're trying to do, and basically split test the hook, which is basically through 3 to 5 seconds. And you can see there, it's a very different visual in terms of what we're trying to do there. So Yeah, those are some really good examples of all ads that are above a 4x ROI. So that's basically the first three parts there: product with the right unit economics, optimized website, and then great creative and ads. So now what we're going to do is now, right, these three honestly is really what's going to get you to 100K a month with 100K with high profit if you have a more simple product and just lower competition. Now, with a more complex product and more competitive niche, you will need to be dialed in with your offer. You need to be dialed in with landing pages and retention. So what we're going to talk about here up next is the offer. Now, in terms of the main offers that I'd be looking at is I'd be split testing these three to start. X amount. Now, of course, there's just way more than that, of course. X amount off first purchase, very, very common one, but a lot of times gets left, doesn't get tested essentially. So, example, get 15% off your first purchase. You can also do 10% off or 20% off and kind of even split test them as well. And seeing what makes most sense in terms of on the ads and also for the business, a really good example is, say for instance on the ads, 20% off, it's just like doing really, really well, but also 10% off is doing slightly, performs slightly less. However, for the business, it actually makes a lot more sense because you're actually saving that 10% margin. So you have to kind of factor in both pieces there. Also buy two, get one free, or buy three, get one free, et cetera, et cetera. And then also free gift with the purchase or even free mystery gift with the purchase. People love free stuff. So that's why if you can put free or free in the ads, it crushes. So really great example for this brand here, Fuel Hunt. They sell rash guards, which is a relatively competitive product. So basically this offer that we came up with, buy two, get one free, is absolutely crushing. It's raising the average order value. We're converting customers at a way lower, clip essentially. So it's absolutely crushing. So basically what we're doing is we're sprinkling it all over the ads. You can see buy two, get one free. And then you can see here, buy two, get one free, as CNN, UFC, and then also this company here as well. So you can see how we're implementing that. And then when you go to the website, you'll see the offer there as well too. So we split tested a bunch of different offers to really see, and then different product lines as well. And really what we're finding right now, this one is absolutely crushing. So we're just doubling, tripling down on that. And that is the first part there is the offer. Very, very, very important to test. Now, up next as well is landing pages. So this is one that we put together for Latiera. This is a hair care brand. And there's also 4 types. So this one here is a quiz. Quizzes, honestly, I don't see them too often, but they absolutely crush. I remember one time I bought from this a while back. Basically, it was one of the few times I actually bought an Instagram ad. It was basically for like a fitness, workout routine product. And basically what it was asked like 4 questions. It was like a quiz, a landing page, and asked 4 questions. And by the end of it, I felt like it actually knew what like was needed for my body, and then it recommended a certain workout routine, and I ended up buying it because like at the end of the day I felt like it understood what I wanted. You know what I mean? It's almost like having like a personal salesperson right there, like asking you different questions and then, hey, here's a recommendation. It's kind of like almost a doctor like asking you a bunch of questions. Hey, here's a prescription, what I'd recommend for you. And you're kind of almost doing that on a landing page, it works really, really well, especially for acquiring new customers because they feel like you understand what they need for them specifically. So it works really, really well. In addition to as well, listicle landing pages is where you basically list out, 4 reasons why, 5 reasons why. This one here, 97% of our customers say they'll never use another cleaner. And then you can have a sub headline. And then what you do for these here, I'll show you an example, is you basically list out the reasons in a very visual way. And you can see here AG1 does them as well too. AG1 basically, I think they're a $1.2 billion brand, and they basically are sending almost all of their traffic from their ads to landing pages. So something to take note of there. Up next is Shoppable. You can see this one here from Brightland. They basically look like this. The main difference of a shoppable landing page is basically like a product page. The only difference is you can actually just put buy boxes in separate sections. So you can see here from Hexclad, they have a buy box right here, right? So they actually, and you can also play around with it. Like on a typical product page, the buy box is pretty much near the top, right? But on Shoppable, you can kind of intro the product. You can see their first call to action is see the review. So it just takes you down there, right? And then basically they have the buy box down here, and then they try to sell you on it some more and give you more info, us versus them, all sort of stuff. And then what happens is there's another, actually, I think there was another buy box. I think it was on, actually, okay. But yeah, sometimes they'll have 2 buy boxes. That must have been another one. But that's what you can do as well, is you can play around with having multiple different buy boxes in different sections. So that's basically what a shoppable landing page is. So very similar to a product page, but you can kind of customize it a lot better as well. Advertorial slash blog. These ones don't get used as much as they should. They just look very organic. Another thing as well too is if you're doing like an us versus them creative, what you can do is you can almost send them to an us versus them kind of blog style, like, hey, I tried this product and this product, here's my thoughts on both of them. And it just looks like it's perfect congruence with like an us versus them, static ad, which, perform pretty much really, really well for any account essentially, especially in very competitive markets as well. So these are the 4 different types of landing pages. And the way I view the landing pages is almost like ads. You don't want to just test one landing page. That'd be like testing one ad and like, oh, it didn't work. Well, it's like, no. You got to test multiple. You got to try different styles. And also you can kind of pair them with your winning ads. For example, say for instance, and this is what we plan on doing pretty soon here as well, as we have this travel ad, rather than just sending it to the regular, product page, is we actually build out a travel tailored landing page where we talk about, hey, 5 reasons why, Latier is the perfect, hair care products for your next trip. Obviously, that's a terrible head. Well, actually, it's not that bad, to be honest, right off the bat. But you can see what I mean. And then you could have like travel photos mixed in with it and tailor all the reasons why it's perfect for it. Or alternatively, you can send them to a shoppable, landing page and tailor all of the content, the copy, everything towards a travel style, right? You can even do advertorial. Hey, I just took this hair care on my trip, and here's why I loved it. Something like that. And then obviously quiz, you can kind of tailor towards. Actually, I don't know if that quiz would make that much sense for it, to be honest, but you get what I mean. So that's how you can kind of tailor towards your ads, which is really, really, really cool and very effective strategy, and it has really perfect congruence. Last piece here, I won't touch on for too long, is email and SMS. Very, very crucial to have this part of the strategy. If it is done correctly, it should make up about 30-ish% of your revenue, 10% to the flows, which are completely automated once you set all those up, and then also your campaigns as well. Very, very, very crucial, because you're basically helping build up the LTV of your past customers and really basically generating revenue with no ad costs. Right. So you're basically acquiring these customers for a certain cost per acquisition, and then you're basically, making more revenue off of them in the back end. So very, 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 crucial part of the strategy if you want to get to $100,000 a month plus with your ads. With your Shopify brand. So yeah, hopefully that was valuable. That basically wraps it up. If you have any questions, let me know below in the comments. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Drop it a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers for watching.